What's up, YouTube fam? It's your boy Heezy. You know that's who I be. So I left off on part one, telling y'all about when the pastor came and was telling me I was worried about what God part working on me, because I was so busy stuck in my head like, oh, I don't want to backslide. And he was like, basically, you worry about the wrong thing. When you come to God, you come to God childlike, and He teaches you and transforms you Himself, not you. So okay, so that's why I left off at. And I think I was telling y'all about me getting back into the world slowly. So when that pastor told me that, by then, like I did say, I think I told y'all on the last video that I was drinking liquor and chasing the liquor with beer, and I also was smoking blacks, cussing, everything, just doing everything out there. So I remember when the pastor said that, he just said, when you ready, pray the prayer, I surrender. Okay, so I thought on it for some days, you know what I'm saying? But I was just like, okay, I ain't gonna lie. I knew and still believed in God, but I was just feeling like I was so deep in. I'm like, Lord, me surrendering, like, how is that really just gonna make me just, start changing? Because I gotta put effort in it too. But what happened was completely, it blew me, because eventually I decided to go ahead and pray the prayer. Then it's like I went through a depression. Like, I didn't know what was wrong with me. Like, you just crying, don't even know why you crying. I was just crying. I was just so sad. And it was like, I even went to my anxiety was real bad. I had went to the doctor's office and everything, trying to get checked. And I'll never forget that doctor told me, because I had a family member to go to the doctor with me, because we just didn't know what was going on. And it's like every time they asked me what's the problem, I just broke down. And I remember breaking down in her room, in the patient room. And that doctor looked at me, and she looked at my family member that went with me and said, y'all need Jesus. That's what she said. I didn't think much of it then. But when I left that doctor's office, I ended up telling my cousin, I said, you know what I wonder? I said, I wonder if all of this coming because I can't get help from somebody else. Am I looking in the wrong places? So I decided to tell her, I said, I did pray that prayer. I surrender like a week or two ago. My cousin looked at me, the relative that went to the doctor with me, and said, well, that's what it is. You don't surrender to God, and you gotta be careful what you pray for. You gonna tell yourself that you surrender to God. You think you gonna play like that? So I stopped seeking medical help and started looking like, okay, Lord, what is my? So the whole thing behind my anxiety was my flesh for fighting my spirit. God was transforming me then, but I just didn't know it at the time. So I eventually, stopped cursing, which was pretty much easy. But the whole time I kept crying and crying and crying. It was because I was holding on stuff that I never let go. And sometimes to get to the next stage, you have to let go some things. Like, you can't hold on to stuff and think, oh, God's just going to elevate me. No, it don't work that way. You have to be able to let go and have a mind and heart set the way God see other people in their mistakes and things like that. So when my family was there, so when another relative came in, because she found that kind of odd that I just texted her one night out of nowhere. And she came over and said, God told me to get up and come over and see. I was like, oh, I'm good. It was a lie. I wasn't good. I broke down and she just asked me this specific question. And I dropped to my knees and cried out. And she said, I knew you was still, she was crying too. And like, I knew you was still holding on to that. It wasn't nothing with her, but it was just something that I went on, but I thought I'd been let go, but I didn't. And when I did that, she said, I knew it. But it's like, after that, I felt good. So I had to tell her, like, days later, I'm like, you know what? Maybe I had to let I didn't really forgive them like I thought I did. My mind told me, but my heart ain't caught up yet. But that night it did when I cried out to God and I just gave it to him. And I felt so much better. But the only other thing was the job that I was still on. And this particular relative told me, I feel like the job got a toll on you too. Maybe you supposed to let it go, because I was staying with a relative at the time. She was like, maybe you have to let that job go to see. She was like, why are you so afraid of letting that job go? You feel like who you staying with, they ain't gonna treat you the same? She said, maybe that's something God needs you to see too. Maybe it's time God have to, cut the tweeds from around your garden. And so, I still was holding on to the job, because I guess I tried to hold on to things that it was time that I outgrew. And I'm sorry, I'm skipping some stuff. No, wait. I was skipping ahead. Okay, so after she said that, I kind of stopped smoking. That was the first thing that got took away, the smoking part. So I stopped smoking. And then, like I said, I stopped cussing. Now I stopped smoking. There's two things. So, but the job was something else I was holding on. She was just telling me that maybe God got to tweet, separate you. Isolation season, or maybe it's time, I grew this situation, you got to get you to the next step. She was saying that to me. So, I didn't want to let go of the job. And I didn't let go of the job. The job let me go. That was the very first time I ever got let go from a job. And that's the only time I have. And I couldn't do nothing but remember to lean on God's understanding, not my own. Not lean on my own understanding, but God's way. You get what I'm saying? But, so I had to trust in God. And the relative that told me that, she was right. I eventually did have to leave those relatives I was staying with. It was a whole situation with that, and I started staying with another relative, which I think it was just time it was a new season, changed the environment. And I noticed after that, I eventually get my own place, and I stopped drinking liquor by then, because I kept getting sick. Like, my throat kept getting swollen or something, and I was like, maybe it's the liquor. So I let liquor go, but I did not let the beer go. So now I done stopped cursing, I done stopped smoking, now I let the liquor go. Now I'm on beer, and I replaced some liquor with wine, because we're going to be real. I'm going to keep the whole story transparent. So acid reflux real bad and everything. And then there was some nights I remember coming in, and I was like, I remember some nights I was coming in and I was like, dang, I ain't even drank then yet. And I get up and drink some beer. And I kept telling my family then, I was like, I think God finna take away beer from me. I said, because I keep forgetting to drink. I said, at first it was like clockwork. I said, this must be the next step of the surrender prayer. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna lie, I did go back and try to look again, because I started dating someone. And, we went out and ate, and I did drink the liquor again, throat immediately. I said, oh yeah, see, that I tried to go back to the liquor, and next day, swollen again. Eventually, the beer started doing the same thing. And it was swollen for a whole month. I was so sick. I was so sick to the point that I just wanted alcohol so bad. Now, I did go back to drinking liquor again, because I was making hottie toddy, taking the tea, drying it with some brandy. And my throat was tearing. Ooh, it would hurt so bad because it was infected. And I was drinking the beer, and the acid off the beer was tearing my throat up. But I'm literally like this, determined to have the alcohol. Until I went to the ER finally, because I couldn't take it no more, and they put me on antibiotics. And tell me on antibiotics, you can't drink alcohol. I wanted to get well. So I said, Lord, is this your way of telling me to let alcohol go? If it is, you got to help me. I said, I use alcohol to sleep because it's like I got insomnia. And I use alcohol to sleep. That's the excuse I was telling myself just to have. I'm going to put it like that. I'm being honest. And I took them antibiotics. I told myself I ain't going to go back to it. And it blew my mind. Because I prayed that prayer before I got off the antibiotics. And says, basically, tell God I'm ready. Just give me strength. And now I am almost a year sober from alcohol completely. Don't get me wrong. Sometimes so to fix that excuse about sleep, I took a few over-the-counter sleep aid. I pop some, or I put on like melatonin lotion and stuff to go to sleep natural. But I said no more alcohol. And yeah. I am so proud. Then I started focusing more on, like, when I did want alcohol, I go running and stuff like that. The stuff that people say with therapeutic that you didn't think would work when I was in the world, when I was drinking and stuff. I used to swear for Jesus like, ain't no way I can replace that. Let me try it. Shoot, when I finished, I was ready for a drink then. Not no water at that. So you know what I'm saying? But when you include God in it, it do. It do work. I know I said it was going to be 3 parts to the video, but I just pretty much wrapped it because I kind of did like a fast forward through. Because, you know, skipping a lot of the personal part. But I'm in a much better place. I'm easy to forgive. Like I said, all the other situations I was telling you, I'm able to forgive better. And not just hold on. And then it's like God even sent people that I've been forgave. Like, they was just texting me stuff and apologizing out of nowhere. I'm telling you, like, that just happened, like, the beginning of this year. No? The end of last year and some the beginning of this year, that kind of blew me. Like, so, I'm going to just say, if you struggling with anything, just surrender it to God. It ain't even a joke. Now, but I will say this. Be ready when you pray the prayer. Because the thing about God, it going to get done his way. Not yours. So don't think you're going to take a little easy route and create a plan in your head. Oh, I wanted to do like this. No, it don't work that way. When you give it to God, God got control over it. He make his way around it. But hey, I ain't complaining because get what? I'm where I never thought I'd be at. I am at so much peace. And it's so crazy. Like, I noticed last year, another big change in me was I don't stress over things. Like, it was something that happened. And I remember my relative telling me, how is you so calm about it? I said, because everything happened for a reason, and it's all part of God's plan. I said, I'm just here to ride the ride. He's still driving it. I'm the passenger. I ain't finna tell him what route to take when I'm the passenger. This is his vehicle. I'm just in it. And I'm telling you, I know y'all hear it probably sound cliche because a lot of pastors say this, but falling in love with Jesus was the best thing that I ever did. And it's like, sometimes you know you can feel destined for it. Because look how I told you my story, like from part 1, how I was in the church, out the church, in the church. You know, this time, I'm not leaving it. I'm not going back out there. He ain't got nothing for me. God to show me too many great things now. Like, who going back? Not me. Only forward. But I really appreciate y'all for tuning in and listening to my story. Hopefully this blessed someone. And if nothing else, now you know what I'm about. It's easy, and I'm out.